certain prerequisites, right, that must be met in order for a shahada to even be valid, right?
Okay, but it's the same thing, right? So what we're talking about is the process of knowledge development and experience.
Okay.
So initially, that core truth, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and then we have those 6 articles of faith.
Okay.
So this is that kind of like first stepping stone in terms of essential knowledge.
Yeah.
So
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I'm here with brother Sheikh Khalid Herrington. MashaAllah. I'm working on my pronunciation. The Sheikh here is the figurehead, the Sheikh at Islam of Mind on Patreon. If you guys haven't been over there yet, be sure to go check it out. There's a plethora of valuable information over there that cannot be overstated. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, it's such a blessing. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions, Sheikh. For, you know, a lot of people out there, they have misconceptions about what Islam is and what submission is and so on. And, well, what is it that makes a Muslim? And, you know, you were saying a little earlier that that's such a deep topic that you could go on for days and days on this, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of facets to it. Like you just hit some there. Like, for instance, like, how do you define a Muslim? All right, so a Muslim is defined based on aqidah. It's not based on social perception. It is not based on personal subjective perception, popular definitions, etc. Right. So just because somebody calls themselves a Muslim doesn't mean that they're going to be considered as a Muslim when it counts, and that is when the angel of death comes. That is on the day of judgment. That is now defining who is going to Jannah and who's going to Jahannam, because that's the only definition that people should be concerned with.
Yeah.
In terms of social definitions, like people do what they. You can call yourself president of the United States. It don't make it true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So is this saying Islam is for everybody? Do you think that this is an accurate statement? Like Islam is for everybody, or is Islam available for everybody? But if you don't fall into these acts of submission, you're not really, considered to be within the fold of Islam.
Okay, so you got two things, right? So the first statement, Islam is for everybody, meaning that is Islam the solution and the means of acquiring eligibility for salvation for everybody? Absolutely, yes. All right.
So it's available there.
So it is the means of salvation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in terms of, because now you're talking about access. So accessibility, yes, it's there for you to access your means to that eligibility for salvation. Why do I say eligibility? Because none of us are going to enter Jannah by our deeds.
Right.
This is per the hadith, right?
Okay.
All of us, inshallah, may Allah accept all of us, will only enter Jannah by Allah's rahmah. Even the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, right? So the best of creation is only entering Jannah by Allah's rahmah. So we're talking about eligibility. All right. Then now the second aspect that you're kind of bringing to the forefront has to deal with, okay, you have accepted the truth of Islam. All right. Step one, done. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Now, can you actually harvest the benefits of your Islam? Can you stay a Muslim?
That's an important distinction, isn't it?
That's incredibly important. So becoming a Muslim and staying a Muslim, like these are two totally different discussions.
Right.
Right. So we take your shahada. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, you're Muslim.
But with the shahada, there's certain prerequisites, right, that must be met in order for a shahada to even be valid, right?
Okay, but it's the same thing, right? So what we're talking about is the process of knowledge development and experience. Okay. So initially, that core truth, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and then we have those 6 articles of faith.
Okay.
So this is that kind of like first stepping stone in terms of essential knowledge.
Yeah.
So and then once you have accomplished that, now you have entered into the fold of Islam. Then your journey is supposed to continue. Hence that whole Rabbi Zidni ilma. Oh Allah, increase me in knowledge. I have to keep moving here.
Okay, so you can't just stay stagnant and consider yourself within the realm of being a Muslim, right? Because we're supposed to seek knowledge. We're supposed to progressively get better, right? Like it's
One of the signs that you've really entered into the fold of Islam is that you keep learning.
and the desire to keep learning.
Yeah. So if that's absent, that means that there's a problem. Because you have to remember, like in Christianity, a lot of us come from a Christian background, and in Christianity, it's kind of like, get baptized or whatever, and like you're saved, and like, all right, phew,
Yeah, now I can do whatever.
glad I got that over with.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm good now, right? I'm
Right.
saved. Like
Right.
that concept and that understanding doesn't exist in Islam, but a lot of us end up trying to translate it or carry it over into our Islam. Oh, I took my shahada. It's kind of like getting baptized or what have you. So it's like the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I took my shahada. I'm good now.
Yeah.
But you're not,
Right.
right? You're not. So you look at it this way. It's like riding a bicycle. So Islam is like riding a bicycle uphill. What does that require you to do? You have to constantly pedal.
Yes.
The minute you stop pedaling going uphill, you're going to fall over.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Now, there are those who get on the bicycle and go where? Downhill.
Yeah. Right.
No effort. Every now and again, you might give it a little, you right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're like, just like, hey, this is so easy. I'm
take it
like
easy.
coasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down to where?
Right. And this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing a lot of. And you had put a statistic. Had mentioned a statistic. I think it was from Pew Research that said that was it 30% or 40%?
Yeah, actually, 1/3 of people who label themselves as Muslim are actually Muslim.
1/3. So that leaves 2/3 that are not.
Correct.
And this is a matter of Aqidah or practice or lack of understanding, or they're just jumping on the bandwagon. What we got going on?
All of the above.
Oh man, my Lord protect us.
Individual components of that, like combinations of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you were mentioning earlier, like some people like, oh, I'll believe in this part, but not that part.
Yeah, picking and choosing.
Right?
Yeah,
I want to cherry pick what I choose to believe in Islam.
Right.
And there's a place for that, in terms of nawafil.
Explain for them what the
nawafil is supererogatory ibadah. So it's
voluntary acts of worship.
Voluntary acts of worship.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to do them, that's fine. It's up to you. If you don't, that's fine. That's up to you.
Yeah.
It's not fard. It's not an obligation.
Right.
Now, when we're talking about aqidah, anytime something is an obligation, by default, it is also part of the aqidah. Methadan, for example, somebody says, I don't believe you have to make salat 5 times a day.
I've heard that. Yeah.
They're not Muslim.
Right. This is because the hadith is salah is the difference of between a believer and a disbeliever, right? It separates
that's
the
talking
believer.
about performance. So the belief in the performance.
So that's
We're
just talking about the outward performance of it?
We're talking about the actual belief itself. For me
Okay.
like this will clear it up.
Okay.
So say for instance they make salat 5 times a day.
Yes.
And they say, I do not believe I have to though.
Oh.
You are not a Muslim.
SubhanAllah. So the outward act is there, but the inner belief and the inner submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the understanding,
that's awla.
It's
like
lacking.
that is the imperative. That is the part that comes first. Because think about wal asr. Okay? In that surah.
Yeah.
So you'll hear, like, even if you don't know what it means, you'll recognize إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. So first comes belief, iman, amanu, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Then now doing and engaging in the work of righteous deeds.
Yes.
So the iman has to be there first, and then the manifestation of that iman is in the amal. But the heart, the ruh, the soul of those actions is the belief. Hence, if you have somebody who's making salah, a new Muslim, and like, brother, I'm just trying to remember what the heck I have to say, right? Alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, right? Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Right? You're focused
Yeah.
on what you have to say.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to now, like somebody who is a spiritual adept, right? These you've attained, been blessed to attain, and been gifted with certain spiritual heights.
Okay.
Okay, development, maturation.
Yeah.
So now when they're saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and for them, like the universe is in front of them. Everything that has been done is in front of them. Everything in creation, right? Everything that is happening is in Alhamdulillah. And for them, because that's that internal level of development, maturation, understanding, when they say Alhamdulillah, that Alhamdulillah contains all of it.
MashaAllah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. When you get to that level, like, may Allah increase us all to that level, obviously. Ameen. You know, you were talking about the acts and the deeds, outward performance versus a inner submission, and the outward deeds being a manifestation of that. I've heard Christians in the past, and other denominations as well, talking about Muslims try to earn their way into heaven, and you can't earn your way into heaven, right? And I've tried to explain to them that the deeds that we do is a sign of our iman. It's an outward manifestation of an inner representation of what we have in our heart for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's like, you know, they have that in Christianity. They said faith without works is dead, right?
They do.
But then they will turn around and tell you cannot perform good deeds and expect to get, you know, the pleasure of the Almighty.
Yeah,
and
I mean, like that's just like, I'm gonna put this in the nicest, try to put it in the nicest way possible.
And I'm not trying to bash them, by the way.
No, I completely understand.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to also,
yes,
right?
respectfully.
Yeah,
Right,
it's like you really don't. You can't engage in an intellectual or academic discussion with Muslims because you don't have the grounds to stand on.
I understand.
And that is what produces. And so we have some individuals that will attempt to do so, right? And it's driven by emotion, right? And so they'll attempt to do so, and then this is what it's inevitable. They're going to end up tripping over themselves.
Yeah.
And you're just bringing up an example of that, of them tripping over themselves.
Okay. So it's best to try to avoid that, right? When we're giving dawah and things like that, you don't want to elicit an emotional response. You want to what does Allah say in the Quran?
I mean, you do want to elicit an emotional response, but you want it to be secondary, okay? Because we're human.
Okay.
So the emotional response is supposed to be a natural part of the flow of change.
Okay.
Okay. So it's part of the human experience. To shut that off means that, like, you're a psychopath. You got
sociopathic tendencies.
Yeah, you rather like, we need to have
seek help.
Have a conversation with some plexiglass in between us.
Seek help immediately.
Right. I'm looking at the sign that says, "In case emergency, break glass." You know what I mean? Okay. So it's okay, but see, the question is which one comes first? Which one's primary? Which one's secondary? So when we're addressing people, we want to address them intellectually, right? And we want to be mindful of that secondary emotional response. So we don't want that because what happens is if the emotional response is primary and the intellectual part is secondary, the emotional part is going to control the intellectual part. It's going to shut it down.
So they're not receiving the information
anyway. They're not receiving.
Yeah.
Defensive, you've triggered an emotional response defense mechanism. The shields go up, right? Yeah. Now they're potentially hurt, angry, frustrated, in doubt, because you think that you're attacking Christianity, right? But there's no need to attack Christianity. No. We're not trying to attack anybody.
Right.
What you're trying to do is you're trying to get people to think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what we don't realize is that when you're trying to get them to think, you're actually not trying to get them to think about Christianity. You're trying to get them to think about their identity. There's a big difference in that.
Yeah.
So now when and that's the part that sends the force field goes up. Yeah. Right? Because you're attacking my perception
who I am.
of myself.
Yeah, who I think I am.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So now it's like that's personal.
Yeah, that's then you get the natural fear response to that, which is you get anger. Anger is a secondary emotional response. Yeah.
You get anger. Yeah. So there's anger. There's confusion.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that they'll like start sputtering because they get frustrated.
Yeah.
Right. Because what's happening is it's like I don't have anything really to fight off your attack. So
they feel defenseless, maybe like a helpless individual.
Cornered.
Yeah, cornered. That's good.
Cornered.
So remember that when we're talking to, those who do not yet believe, and that's what I like to call them, those who do not yet believe, because God willing, inshallah, they will eventually be able to see the fruit of Islam for themselves and come around, inshallah. That's the hope that we want for them anyway. So brothers and sisters out there who may be seeing this, listen to what the Sheikh is saying and try to approach these conversations with love and compassion.
And with humility.
That's
because here's the catch. What guarantee that we're going to die as Muslims?
I've seen a lot of good brothers who I thought were
solid.
Haram policing almost, brother. They were keeping you in line. And then 2 or 3 years later, they're no longer Muslim, bro. No longer Muslim. And that's a very real reality. So be careful who you're trying to haram police.
Because if you're arrogant, the gift of Islam, the gift of guidance is a gift. And you have to fulfill the rights of the gift. So like imagine if, I came and I gave you like, mashallah, Ibrahim, I would like for you to take this brand new Bugatti.
This is happening after the show, inshallah. If we had it like that, maybe.
Here's your keys, right, brother? Like, enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to pay for the insurance, by the way.
Oh, but, yeah. I'm gonna
okay. And then I come back a week later, okay? And, like, the fender's bent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got French fries all in the cracks of the seat. Spill coffee all over the, the center console.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like you decided to spray paint your name on the on the back of it, and I'm like, bro, dude, Broham, what? It's like I gave this to you as a gift,
right?
You don't appreciate it,
right?
Well, brother, you gave it to me; it's mine now. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the same kind of approach that a lot of the people end up with.
It's mine now.
And is that a problem with? Sometimes I see that the more knowledge is gained, this happens if it's not in the if they're not gaining the knowledge properly. Isn't there like a framework for how knowledge should be gained and applied and processed?
The safest and the best way to explain it, so we can make a distinction here so that we can have a degree of caution, is to distinguish between information and knowledge.